One of the things that I love about keeping a journal, whether it's a visual style like this one or a daily written journal, is that it becomes a record of my thoughts, my dreams, my goals. And in doing so, it becomes this place where I start to become aware of all of these seeming coincidences that happen in my life. You write it on the page, and then later on in the day, somebody says the same exact thing to you that you wrote on the page. There's a word for that. And it's not just a coincidence, the word synchronicity. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm so glad you are here with me. I welcome you to Creative Spirit Gathering. I'm your host, Jen Hutchins, founder of Unity Arts Ministry. We are a nonprofit organization dedicated to personal growth through creative expression and spiritual enrichment. You can support our nonprofit by giving on our website at unityartsministry.org. For those of you in our Zoom room, I'm going to go ahead and put that hot link in the chat bar for you as well. Thank you in advance. So this idea of coincidence, right? First of all, let's look at coincidence. Coincidence is speaking about a randomization of chance, like an occurrence that maybe we call lucky. And we have absolutely, oftentimes, we think we have nothing to do with the idea of coincidence. When we look at this word synchronicity speaks of like a cooperation with the universe. Synchronicity is an awareness that our thoughts and our actions hold a power behind them that is like a harmonizing, attracting power that helps to bring these things into our lives. This term was first coined by psychologist Carl Jung. He defined synchronicity as two or more events that occur in close proximity that don't have any causal connection, but seem to be meaningfully related. Jung said that synchronicity is not just a coincidence, but a significant coincidence of physical and psychological phenomena that are acausal connected. So there's this connection between them. It's not just like happenstance, but there's this connection between the two things. Now, I could sit here and, read off more definitions, more quotes about synchronicity versus coincidence, but chances are you have experienced this in your life, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. We had a great example. Unity Arts Ministry is going to be launching a new book club starting this month. And our first book that we picked is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. You're available on the 21st of March. We invite you to come join us on our Zoom room for that discussion. But what was really interesting was we announced that we are going to be doing this book study on Big Magic. And several people wrote to me and said, I have that book like sitting on a bookshelf somewhere and I've never read it. So this is like great opportunity for me to read this book. Well, then I got another message from somebody who said, I saw the announcement about the book study. I was really excited to join you. So I went on Amazon. I was about to order the book and something in me resisted ordering the book. So I didn't order the book. And later remembered that I had recently picked up a book by Elizabeth Gilbert that I found in a thrift store. And there were like these connections, right? Connect the dot, connect the dot. Where did I put that book? What was the book again? So she goes, looks for where she put the book, finds it. And guess what book it is? Ta-da, Big Magic. So I want to thank Jess for sharing that story with me. I thought it was, in fact, a little bit of magic, right? Synchronicity can feel like magic. When you pick up the book before the book study and you don't even remember the fact that you got the book that was for the book study that you didn't know you were going to sign up for, right? And that moment, like before ordering the book, wait a minute, something's not right here. Yeah. So this is an example, right? Like creating a book to book study connection, right? Sort of a simple example. But the thing that we can take away from this is that when we start to notice these things in our journals, because when we write them down or we capture images of them, and then these same things that we created little snippets and pictures of start showing up in our lives, when it happens once, it's like, hey, cool. What a coincidence. When it happens twice that same week, but with something different, that's pretty interesting. When it happens a third time with something significant in our lives, we start to think that maybe there's something to this idea of synchronicity. Maybe there's something to the power of my thoughts, the power of my actions to truly help create, co-create, manifest, bring into my reality, my experience, my highest possible dreams. And when we start believing that this is possible, that even our thoughts can start to bring these things toward us, we start to realize that we really do live in a friendly and abundant universe that supports our goals. So creative living, right? That's exactly what we're talking about. It's this co-creation. We are creating what it is that we want to experience. Creative living is happening for us all the time. And even just shifting our thoughts to what if it's possible can start to bring these things into our lives in greater and greater awarenesses. So we can use this power of our awareness, of our intentions, to co-create our dreams and our desires specific to our creative lives, right? You're here as part of Creative Spirit Gathering because something in you is drawn to creativity, something in you wants to express through creativity. Perhaps you want to express more through photography. Perhaps you want to have a show and feature your paintings or your work somewhere. Perhaps you love writing and you want to publish a short story. What are your creative goals and dreams? What are some of those things that when you think on what fires you up, how do you want to share your creativity with the world? Think on what those things are. Today, we're going to be exploring those in our journal format with the intention of being aware, open, and receptive to the synchronicities that show up that help to bring these things into our lives. Just like the book shows up for the book study, before the book study was even there, and you find it. What are the things that are going to show up in your life as you start claiming your creative dreams? In the book, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, it's the one we've been working through for anyone new to the group today. Julia Cameron has this whole section on week 3 dedicated to the idea of synchronicity. And her take on this is to pay attention to synchronicity, because sometimes what happens is we put an idea out there, right? Like, I would love to publish a short story. And then a friend, we're just chatting with them over a cup of coffee, and they're like, I recently met the publisher of this magazine, and they're looking for short story submissions. You should submit your writing to this magazine. And we go, oh, wait a minute. It's like, but we question it, we doubt it, we think, oh, that's too good to be true. But the truth is, the synchronicity is sort of the universe lining things up for you. So rather than resist them, lean into it, lean into these awarenesses. So she writes here, we like to pretend it's hard to follow our heartstrings. The truth is, it's difficult to avoid walking through the many doors that will open. Turn aside your dream and it will come back to you again. Get willing to follow it again, and a second mysterious door will swing open. I love these mysterious doors swinging open, the synchronicities revealing the opportunities, the paths that are available for us. So I'm sharing with you today, this is actually a little book that I created as its own little journal, little creative journal booklet. And I used like a heavyweight Bristol board paper, painted the pages on each side, and then folded them together. But this entire little booklet sort of served as a vision board, if you will, many years back, setting my intentions, my goals, my dreams for my creativity, for my life. This particular page I wanted to share with you because it's all about the idea of time, right? That time itself is not like just this linear thing, but even our thoughts, right? There's no time associated to that. There's no time associated when, I say, I want to write a short story and publish it. And somebody says, oh, here's the opportunity for you, right? So we kind of remove the time and just know that all of these things are sort of flowing together. So I use rubber stamps on here, magazine images, and then I wanted to share with you this little, like just pinned in with a button, little like a mini book within the book. And on each page, like joy and happiness represented on this one. There's like an art gallery in here, a dove representing freedom. I love landscapes, so like sort of landscape imagery, family. So all of these things are like my touchstones at the moment in this like tiny little booklet. As just like a fun way of looking at some other ways that you can incorporate things onto your page rather than just, a visual collage of all the things. It's another interesting way of exploring, how can you capture your goals and your dreams specific to your creative life on the page. So today in your journal, I invite you to write down your creative goals and dreams. Be open to seeing where these may show up in other areas of your life, where these doors are going to swing open as we're open to synchronicities in our life, and start noticing where those things happen. Maybe leave room on your page where you can write in later, when things magically showed up, right? The word magic is sort of an interesting one, because when we look at this from the perspective of it being a spiritual truth, right? It's not so much like just a whimsical, magical thing anymore. This is something that we can work with. And again, so I always like to say, this is about your own practice with it. So don't take my word for it. Try it out. See if it works for you. And keep me posted. Let me know how those synchronicities unfold as well. So what are your creative goals and dreams? Let's lean into a short period of meditation as we center ourselves in our heart space, center ourselves on our own passions, center ourselves on our own truth, as we are willing to acknowledge our dreams, as we are willing to become receptive to receiving the opportunities to make those dreams reality. And breathe into the heart space. Breathe out, relax. As we take a moment in silence. You are a powerful, amazing creator. What will you create with your precious life? Opening our eyes, bringing ourselves fully aware to this present moment. I invite you now to move into your creative activity. Again, you might choose to use collage and magazines, paint as I did, or perhaps you want to explore this, just simply writing out your ideas today, whatever is on your heart. Allow yourself to explore and express your creative dreams. Enjoy the process.